Oh, good morning, you guys. We overslept. There were thunderstorms overnight, and with the max air here, the rain was so heavy, it was so loud. Woke us up several times. The thunder woke us up. Finally, I got up, I think it was like around 5 or something, and I have this insert that I've made that I put up in the max air, which helped it be a little bit more quiet for us and darker. So much so that we slept until 8:45, and that is not normal. Usually I'm up at least between 6 and 7. We have kind of a full day plan today, so we gotta get moving.
So we're making a quick stop at Panera. Audrey's got a little bit of work to do, and I have got to get some go juice, and then we're going to be on our way.
800 feet, turn right onto South Sea Avenue. Take the next left onto Radio Lane.
Cape Cod has lots of beaches and lighthouses.
So that's what we're going to go check out now. See what we can see.
Something we've discovered is that Cape Cod can be very expensive, especially during peak season. We are here early October, and we're glad to be here now because usually you'd have to pay to be at this beach or have a permit. Now we can see the beach for free. Another perk is that we have the beach almost to ourselves. There are lots of horseshoe crabs washed up here, but there's also some other things. Not really sure what they are. Kind of interesting to look around at everything.
Whew. Who would have thought that New England water would be cold this time of the year?
Look at all these shells. My goodness. Our first stop is here at Seagull Beach. The reason we stopped here is because I had found a lighthouse on Google Maps, Seagull Lighthouse. And what's interesting about that is it's actually a private residence. So when we first tried to get to it, Google Maps took us to a gated community and we had to come around and go to the public beach here and then walk to see it.
All right. Truth be told, there's 17% of me that questions whether this is an actual lighthouse, or rather maybe it's just some sort of architecture design to try to fit in to this beach atmosphere. I don't know. No. Now I'm 29% not sure that's an actual lighthouse. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I always thought that this was not legal. That every beach is accessible or should be accessible to the public. That no one can own a beach. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know your thoughts. Stuff like this, though, is like, really? And they even have one facing this way, which is the way we just came. So it makes you wonder, is this something that's legally enforceable, or is this just some private landowner who is trying their best to keep people away from their home? I can understand it to some degree. There is such a thing as private property, but again, I don't know that that includes beachfront.
And we can confirm that there are seagulls on Seagull Beach.
So there's a sign down there that says private property, no beach access. I always thought that was illegal.
Yeah, the beach is public.
Yeah.
Up until the house part.
Sure.
I think you're right. Should we go just walk on it just to make a statement?
Yep.
Is there somebody living in there? Or is it empty? Yeah, it's empty.
I think there's a no vacancy sign out front. Hello? Anybody home? Go away.
There are all kinds of interesting things out here on the beach. I think this is some guts of a horseshoe crab. Then I'm seeing some other things. I don't know if it's just shells all piled on top of each other in a huge conglomeration or what I'm seeing, but it's fascinating as always, for me anyway. And all this seaweed is pretty cool too. It's very different from what we've ever seen down in Florida, that's for sure. It's a very pretty green color and a neat texture. After hanging out on the beach, naturally the next thing you do is shave. Well, this is a beautiful day. Cannot complain at all, and I think this is just what we needed. I know we took a little bit of a break yesterday afternoon at the Lighthouse, but at this time of the year, we're just so busy with our work stuff. It's easy for me to get feeling pretty overwhelmed because I'm trying to plan what we're doing and trying to get work done and everything else. So, trying to take deep breaths, relax, enjoy the beauty around us, because sometimes that can be a challenge if we're feeling overwhelmed. So, this is perfect. So something that's funny for us, probably more for me with van life, is that plans and reality are very different. It's after 12:30 and we've only done one of the things on my list so far, and I thought this morning we would have already probably done at least 5 of the things on my list. So I'm getting used to adjusting to that and learning to just go with the flow. But to me, it's kind of funny and frustrating. But this is a great spot, and I'm just trying to relax, and then we'll get to what we get to. So in the time being, now that we're back at the van, it's a little bit late, so we're having some applesauce.
Applesauce. It's funny that she brings this up because there's many times where Audra will be like, she'll present me a half a dozen things she wants to accomplish in a day. And it's not uncommon for me to say, okay, you're going to pick one or two of these, and we'll be lucky if we get both of them done.
So I do typically realize that when I come up with a list of ideas that we're not going to be able to do them all. I try to think about what's going to be realistic. I think yesterday I had a pretty realistic idea. We had some things on the list that were like maybe maybe we'll do this if we have time or if we want to. But I did get to the main things that were on my list, so that was good. And today, I don't know what we'll do, but we really don't know a lot about Cape Cod. I tried to do some research and just come up with a list, look at the map, and come up with ideas. So I think the biggest thing for me is I have to be not disappointed if we don't get to them all. And I'm doing better with that lately, I think.
Yeah, something I learned early on, maybe in life in general, but certainly with van life, is you got to roll with the punches. There's just so many variables coming at you that you just gotta roll with it. Otherwise, it's easy to get frustrated and a little disappointed that you're not accomplishing everything. But one of the things the thought I like to entertain is, well, maybe next time we'll put it on our list, and hopefully next time when we're in the area, we can accomplish the things we weren't able to accomplish the first time.
We've been driving a little over 40 minutes now. I think the proper way to say it is we've been driving up the Cape, but I could be wrong. And we are going to go check out some more lighthouses. All right, so next up, we're going to check out the Three Sisters.
Three Sisters Lighthouses. 30-minute parking. It's about 10 minutes per lighthouse.
So these sisters are not by the beach. We have no idea why they're back here in the wooded area, but maybe we'll find out.
Rumor has it, they're not even related.
Rumor has it. Rumor has it. So the story of these lighthouses is a little sad. The Three Sisters had to be moved due to erosion and just also the changing of technology. They weren't needed anymore. So then they were actually reunited. But now two of them look a little sad they don't have their lights. The fact that they were a configuration of 3 lighthouses is actually rather rare. The next lighthouse you're going to see might look a little familiar. Ta-da!
So this is part of the National Seashore Association of Beaches, what they call it.
Just the National Seashore.
It's usually $25, except if you have this fella, we get in for free.
Free. Ding, ding, ding. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. Nauset Light, officially Nauset Beach Light, is a restored lighthouse that was erected in 1923 using the 1877 tower that was moved here from Chatham, previously the twin light to the existing Chatham Light that we visited in our last episode. So does this lighthouse look familiar at all? A little hint. You like potato chips? It's on the Cape Cod potato chip bag. In 1996, Nauset Lighthouse was moved approximately 300 feet back due to erosion. So the crazy thing here is that the lighthouses have been all moved a total of 4 times because of erosion. So between this lighthouse and the Three Sisters, it's kind of an interesting history.
So kind of interesting that they ran a cable starting here all the way to Europe, and it's roughly 3,000 miles. So it was able to transmit messages back and forth. It's kind of wild.
was a fun little stop. And checking out the ocean, the beach here, it's kind of remarkable how different it is from the last place we stopped. There's huge waves here and surfers, and I saw a seal.
Ready for the next lighthouse?
Yep. One of the things we've noticed about Cape Cod is it's not quite as nice for a scenic drive. The main road pretty much just goes up the middle of the land mass, and there's not really any little roads that go along the water. It's all just little chutes that go off the main road. So that's one point against Cape Cod.
All right, up next is Highland Lighthouse.
Highland Light Station, also known as Cape Cod Light, is located on Outer Cape Cod within the Cape Cod National Seashore in North Truro. The current tower was erected in 1857, replacing two earlier towers that had been built in 1797 and 1831. It's the oldest and tallest lighthouse on Cape Cod. This lighthouse is quite a bit away from the shore. Powerful winter storms slowly eat away the shore here on Cape Cod. Of the 10 acres originally bought to build the lighthouse, fewer than 4 acres remain. Entering Provincetown. Well, we've officially made it to Provincetown, the end of the Cape. And it's really pretty. Okay, I'm loving this because there are big dunes here. That is super fun. So we are trying to see the last lighthouse of the day, I think, but we're not actually sure if we'll see it or not. We are at Race Point Beach, trying to see Race Point Lighthouse, but I think it's actually 2 miles from where we just had a park. If you have a vehicle where you feel comfortable driving on sand, you can drive out closer to it, but we don't. So we're going to go down to the beach. There's also supposed to be seals and sometimes foxes around here, so we're going to see if we can see any of those and if we can spot the lighthouse. This is pretty. It's definitely gotten colder out. I had to put on jeans and I got my jacket, but my, is it pretty. This is quite the beautiful beach. It's always a bummer when you find trash on the beach though, so we always try to pick up trash that we see, if we can.
So there are some brave souls that drive down that path, come along the beach here, and have parked right there. That's something you're never going to see Steve and Audrey doing.
Alright, well, we've walked a little ways. We're probably not even a quarter of the way. I'm going to try to venture on, at least just to see the lighthouse.
This is the end of the road for Steve.
So I guess I'll see you later.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Alright, here we go. You guys get to come with me. Stick with me, kids. I'll show you some cool things. Like all these crabs that are laying on the beach. Lying on the beach? I don't know which way it is. And then there's all these gulls up here. A lot of them hanging out. And then either, I think they're pipers or plovers. Ooh, and here's my first lobster tail.
Well, I'm glad I turned around because I don't know about you, but I have got to pee.
Alright, you guys, well, I think I have to throw in the towel. I have walked over halfway, but basically this little landmass curves, and the lighthouse I think is around the curve, and because of the dunes, I don't think I'm going to be able to see it unless I go the whole way. And it's kind of hard walking in the sand, so I may try to see if I can peek up over the dune here to see what I can see, but I think I'm calling it. I'm going to head back. Plus my battery is running out on my camera. But look at this gorgeous color. I love the contrast of the dark clouds against the sunlight on the dunes. It's beautiful. Well, unfortunately, no luck on the lighthouse. But that's okay. It is beautiful out here. It's a nice little beach time anyway. Well, hey, buddy. Well, you guys, some good news. I got back to the van and I decided to walk up to the ranger station up here, and I can see the lighthouse. It's really far away, but it's close enough, just in view, that I can get a couple pictures with this guy. After the fact, I realized we had actually seen the Race Point Lighthouse while we had been on the whale watch tour from Plymouth. So it wasn't a completely failed mission. Got to see the lighthouse after all. And while I was walking, my camera had died, or my phone battery that I do the video on had died, but I got to see some seals. And I think they are so cool. I think they act a little bit human sometimes. They come up out of the water and they just look at you. So that's pretty fun. So while I couldn't get video, I got some pictures and got to see the lighthouse. And it's a gorgeous night. It is so beautiful here. The sun's just starting to go down. The colors of the sky are beautiful. The light touching everything is beautiful. Perfect night. Wow. Look at that. It'd be a nice place to hang out longer, but we would like to see Provincetown before it gets dark. So we're going to keep moving.
Alright, so I think we found a street that has some parking, and I don't think you have to pay, which is a bonus. So I'm just walking it right now, making sure I'm not missing any signs or anything, but so far so good. And it's a level spot that we're at. Alright, looks good, and it looks like we are right across the street from some cottage rentals, and it looks like everybody that's parked there is from out of state or even out of country. There's a Quebec license plate and a bunch of Connecticut license plates, so feeling pretty good about this spot.
Well, so we feel pretty good about this spot, but we also don't want to draw attention to ourselves, so we're trying to stay a little stealth tonight. Instead of cooking, we made sandwiches, and we're gonna just have some other stuff. We don't want to have our windows like all fogged over or whatever, and again make too much noise or just draw attention to ourselves. So hopefully everything will go fine tonight, and then we'll be able to explore more tomorrow around this area before heading back inland. So the other thing that I'm having for dinner is some salad. It has some cranberries in it from the other day when we went to the cranberry harvesting. If you missed that video, check it out because that was really fun for us to shoot. But anyway, cranberry's a little tart, so what I've done is I chopped up some cabbage, put some cranberries on there, but also some strawberries, and then some feta cheese and some pecans that are crushed up. I'm hoping it's going to taste good and it's not going to be too tart. I also didn't really have any salad dressing, so I took raspberry jam and added a little bit of olive oil and water to it and poured it on. I didn't do a lot. It probably would be better if I had some vinegar to give it a little bit more of a balanced taste, but we'll see how this is. It's actually pretty good. Not a bad combination of flavors. Well, this is where we're going to leave you for this episode. A quick thank you to all our patrons. If you enjoy our videos, please consider becoming a patron yourself by using the link on the screen that we've also included in the video description. Thanks in advance, and we'll catch you on the next one. You can connect with us and see my photos of all the locations we visit on our Facebook and Instagram.